Good evening, everybody. Yes, we're doing something a bit different tonight. It's not what I should be doing, but it is what I am doing. So we're doing what I'm doing instead of what I should be doing. Alright. By the way, if anyone has experience with the T84 board, then by all means sit tight and get ready to tell me everything I'm about to do wrong, which I'm sure will keep you very occupied. So yeah, I've got a few T84s. They're all basically broken screens, so there's no point using them as a general basis. But occasionally people bring these things in and they need data recovery off them, and normally it's not a problem. Normally it's just a case of broken screen. I put it into a new good screen, and the built-in software has a nice backup utility, and you just copy it to an SD card and you're done. But this one unfortunately does not seem to want to play the game. It charges, it does have voltage on the on-off button, and when you press the on-off button, it pulls it low, but it doesn't seem to actually go anywhere. So when I have a look at it under the infrared camera, the CPU section heats up and the NVRAM or eMMC heats up, but not much else. And it peaks up to around about 700 milliamp and then drops back down to 250 and stuff like that. So I don't know whether I'm going to be in a situation here where it's going to be easier for me to migrate this eMMC chip to another known working board, like this board here definitely works, or whether it's not possible. Maybe it's encrypted, in which case then there's nothing I can do. I just have to try and get the board to work. There is a bit of liquid damage down in this bottom section. Normally that I would have thought it'd stop it, but maybe it is. So what I'll also do is I'll get another board, because I've got plenty of them, and I'll just start part swapping, and maybe we'll end up with a solution. So I don't know what we're going to end up with here. So we've got another one here. So I'm just going to strip down another one, so I've got another spare board. Where'd my power cable go? Ah, there it is. On the ground. Of course it's on the ground. Now I've already stripped down one of the batteries and taken its power thing, and so then I can just put the power supply on there and it lets me watch the current. So that's already out of the way. I'm not actually sure what the operating system is on these. I can plug it in and find out. I'm trying to think where the other one went. Oh, crikey. I've got to be careful I don't mix up my jobs here too much. Yeah, they are big logic boards, but they're also very low density, of course. Okay, I've already recovered the data off this one. Yeah, so that one's already backed up. What I'll do is I'll boot that one, and then we can find out what operating system we're on. Hey Warren, how's it going? You used to be able to get the screens for this fairly easily, and then all of a sudden the supply just dried right up, and so as a consequence we don't repair them anymore. It does not feel like it's clipped in. Barry, now that would be something, me working on a Tesla. I'd be quite happy about that. Well, they are ZTE brand, so it's a ZTE T84. I'd say the biggest problem with this particular model was that they sold it as a tough phone, but it really had a glass jaw in the sense of its screen was incredibly weak. I'd get these in so often with broken screens. Okay, so this is booting. Jim, it should provide that shortcut with the @ symbol, or at least it used to. It's almost booted, I'm just waiting for it. Obviously, as you can imagine, I don't want to reveal any information I'm not supposed to. Let's see. System without the phone. Okay, so we've got a Qualcomm MSM 8916. We've got Android 502. Okay, so Android 5.02. So looking at that, just scroll back on this. Yeah, so 5.02. So damn it. Worst case scenario, should I be able to just simply move the eMMC chip into another board? Like if I take this chip here and put it there, will that work, or do I have to also do a whole lot of other fanciness? Hey Crazy J, hey Catherine. Now Miles, we can't be techist like that. Okay, and what are you? Right, you're the working one, right? Get you out, because this is the screen and whatnot that we're going to use. So yeah, that one's already backed up, so put that back into the box. Tim, you've already answered, oh sorry. Okay, if it came Android 6 with opt-in, be able to just dump the eMMC, because I don't have a tool to be able to dump the eMMC. So I guess that's why I was asking the question, is because your option you gave me was either dump the eMMC, which I don't have the tool for, or, but you see where you may be losing me with the ambiguity is you're saying otherwise I'll have to transfer the CPU and the eMMC. But is that on the basis of it being iOS 7, or is that on the basis of if I want to do the transfer of the eMMC? So that's where my question of uncertainty is. This one also works just fine. The problem is more that I don't have the adapter for the eMMC. Crazy J, no, I don't have any planned interviews with Lewis over right to repair. It's not really something that I'm active in I mean, I passively am involved in right to repair, of course, through the fact that, I'm doing all the software and things like that. But on the political front, I'm not doing anything at this point. You can either dump it or swap only the eMMC. If the eMMC is intact, you can use 50 CT bare USB stick boards to read them. What? I'm just trying to think what I can do tonight. Maybe it's just going to be easy for me to try and repair the board. One of the biggest problems when it comes to me and doing political activity and things like that is because of my hearing. Though it shouldn't necessarily be a disadvantage, it is in reality a bit of a problem because you can't quite keep up with everybody else and you become a bit of a hindrance and get in the way and things like that. So I'm better off sitting in the background and working on the software and providing tool support. And yeah, I'm comfortable with that position, and I think that's where I'm effective. So I'll leave other people with big mouths to do the chit chat, like Lewis Rossman. Okay, Tim, thanks. Well, we'll have a shot at trying to repair the board initially. It's not like I've got no shortage of spare parts, that's for sure. The thing is, Crazy J, there's probably not a lot that we would discuss. I know it sounds weird, but yeah, Lewis and I don't, other than trading barbs with each other, we don't really have a lot of things in common to discuss. And yeah, we're fine with that. It's not like we sit there every night and pine about the fact that we don't have a lot to say to each other. God, I love this spudger. Take that, battery. Jim, I really don't find myself having that inclination of purpose, though. I mean, I'll write documents about what standards we should have for board views and all that sort of stuff, but not really in a meeting scenario. Never been my greatest strength. And the times where I was offered managerial positions in other companies, I'd be like, no, I know that's the way up in many cases, but I feel much happier being down in the basement with Fox Mulder, Dana Scully, and Batman. Damaras, gee, you're throwing the money at me, buddy. Thank you very much for the 500. I do sincerely appreciate that. You know I do, but I gotta say it every time. Hey, John Lockhart. Yeah, Mikhail, apparently the word is that it was a correction based on a lack of data or something from a week ago, which does tend to correlate for when Lewis put out that video about the bug peeing. Because I thought it was a little strange that I only picked up about 150 subs off that video that he did. And then all of a sudden you get this 500 subs come out of nowhere. But when you add it up and you get the 150 and the 500 and 650, that starts to make sense what I was expecting from the sort of response I'd get out of that video that Lewis did. DJ Craze, yes, especially Dana. Even if she is a cynic. Well, you can't have everything your way. Hey, Sutter Bridge, you missed the SMC reball last night. I called out for you, but you weren't around. Alright, well I'm going to go with initially rebuilding what I can and see if we have any luck. I've just got to replace a couple of connectors. I'm going to take off a few things that I know I don't need. Oh, the things I've done today, by the way. We took Harold's wonderful chipmunk and I kind of abused it, and I've soldered on a banana socket. So what I can do now is when I do a bunch of measurements on a board, plug in my ground, stick that into the USB socket, and yeah, the board can just flip back and forth and it doesn't cause the wire to twist up or anything. And then I thought, you know, maybe I can go more compact than that, and so I took just a simple USB plug. Just buy these by the 100 or whatever when doing manufacturing, and I did the same thing, soldered a lug to it, same thing. So now that can just easily plug into the board that you're working on, and then you've got your ground already set up. You flip it around, you do your diode measurements or voltage measurements, flick it back and forth, and see it doesn't get tangled up. Nice and easy. Anyway, we don't get to play with that right now. Oh, and I also got myself some cheap, nasty solder paste, and it gives me a bit of a project for later. We will try and create a small board to do the temperature control on this filter-based oven. Could be a fridge. Nice thing is we've got the battery backup. Not that it's going to truly matter for these sort of scenarios, but it'll be nice to put our solder paste safely into the refrigerator, and will be kept under temperature nicely. But that's a project for another day when I think about it, get around to it. Got plenty of square turrets, but not too many round turrets. Alright, let's get to trying to rebuild this, fixing it. Message is there? Okay, thanks Tim, let me check. Alrighty. Alright then, okay. Thank you Tim, yeah. So my option, worst case scenario, is, for tonight that is, because I don't have one of those handy USB sticks, I should probably get one at some point, is to take that chip and put it onto a working board. Now, do these things separate? Is it like the stupid iPhone boards? See, there is 2 layers on that. No, we'll try to repair this one first. Swiveling boards with your spare parts. There's certainly going to be a lot of things I want to try, so yeah, we'll see what comes up. Right, the vibrator needs to come off. I've already taken that off, it was a bit damaged. That's got a little, it's really not bad enough to indicate LEDs for the various buttons on the bottom of the screen. They're like back and home and things like that. I'll clear those out, they shouldn't be required. There's a bit of corrosion on them, so we'll just get rid of that. But we'll put this connector back on because we do need that one. It's getting warm in here. I think I might drop the air conditioner down to 22. That looks like a nice one. In fact, I might just take all of those parts And what I actually might do is first get rid of this. The tearing could be back, yep. Let me just change the frame rate. Okay. Frame rate has been changed, so it might resolve the tearing. Let's see. Yeah, that tearing is pretty chronic there. There we go, that's better. Hey Max, how's it going? Ah, Basil's here. No, we're not really having any ISP throughput issues. It's you guys. You're the ones that have got the problem, not me. Yeah, I wonder if this one is the clip. Ah, yeah, it is the clip out. I remember dealing with this in the past. That or someone's playing Call of Duty or whatever and in the other room. Actually, I know what they're playing. They're playing 7 Days to Die. Alright, Tim. Well, I'm actually going to just replace these parts and see what happens. But you might be right. I think you are right, in fact. I guess you always worry when you do something with the memory that you can botch something up. Yep, looks like I don't have the micro pencil tonight. Hey, We Fix TVs, welcome back. I remember you from the other night. And Yuni Amara's here. Wow, this is good. Nice to see people here. I guess, Tim, paranoia is always something that lives with us. This gives me a chance to practice some connector transfer skills and patience. Honestly, when it comes to these sort of things, removing these connectors, patience is the real key. Because they will come off without melting the plastic, but you just gotta wait for it. Hey Circuit Wizard and Steve B. The biggest thing that slows this down is all this here is copper. So it's just constantly sucking up the heat. And you just simply got to bring all that up to temperature before that's going to come off. We're almost there. The pins are already loose and the bottom ones are starting to go now. Here we go. Oh, just this corner here's got to go. It's coming, it's coming. Oh, g'day Nelson and Keith. Right now I'm running at 390 but only 40 air, so the air is quite low. We'll just move these filter packs while we're at it. That is not fully soldered down at this point. I don't need it to be because I'm coming back 2 or 3 more times. Hey Rilla. Oh, baby on baby, that's weird. What a weird name. Hello. Safe for me to put the inductor packs down first and then we can do the connector last, since the connector is the one that's the most delicate. Now the only thing that's on my mind when it comes to that eMMC, that memory chip, is I'm not even sure if I've got a stencil for it. So I may have to actually reball it manually, like one ball at a time. Hey Ron Rogers, welcome again as always from Missouri. Some solder on those pads. Okay, Yanamara, well I appreciate the fact that you even came in and said hello. It's always good to see you. Yeah, you generally don't want big blobs like that though. Or like that, that's just way too big. This is very much the wrong tip to be using for this job. Let's try to just remove a bit more of that solder. The individual pads are mostly good. That one on the end there looks like an NC anyway, but you can all go to hell. Pilnov, this is not a channel where we practice sadomasochism, so we try not to do the hand reballs as much as possible. I already did something close enough to that the other day when I had to redo the Thunderbolt controller for a 820 840. I am happy to say that it did work, so that was a good outcome. It's a little bit on the low side. Now I don't want to be holding on to this. I'm just going to leave the tweezer tip there. And hopefully... The reason why you don't want to hold on to these connectors while you're trying to reflow them or anything like that is because that plastic, while it may not melt specifically on its own, if you've got a tweezer tip or any pressure on it, they will indent quite easily. Damn it. the trouble I've got here is I don't think that's actually sitting down properly. I really don't want to do this. Sometimes you just have to give it a wee little bit of a tap, but you can guarantee as soon as I tap this sucker, I'm going to damage it. There you go, that's better. They're now connected how I want them, so that's good. Now I'm going to get rid of all this. This is all trash. Non-essentials. Corroded. Hey, Nuts and Proud. Yeah, really finding people that I haven't seen for a while around here lately. Okay, this shined up nicely. Shiny. Okay. Yeah, there is that one pad that has nothing on it. I know about that. That's all good. It was an NC, so I'm not worried. Looks like the liquid marker's gone off. I wasn't gone that long. I was only gone 2 weeks or a week and a half maybe. I guess it was long enough. Barry, yes, 7 days and it will be the start of a truly new and happy life. Or at least a better damn well be. Otherwise it'll just be disappointment. Okay, that filter pack on the right is definitely not sitting right. See, it's got a nice big gap on there, so that didn't reflow as planned. Depends what sort of flux you have. You can get the traditional style of thing, which is basically just pine sap. Same stuff they use on violins. Resin, basically resin of pine trees. Its primary purpose is to, well, two purposes. One is to clean the joints slightly through a bit of acidic type action. and the other is to protect the joins from further oxidization. Oops. Well, Steve, maybe I'll just do both and record me working on the house, which would definitely be highly comical. Alright, let's see how this goes. Yeah, that was a bit rude of me. I just threw the board down very carelessly. It's not what you should be doing to a board you're trying to recover data from. Can I please just state as a disclaimer, this is not a super critical data recovery, this is more of a curiosity data recovery, as it were. So please don't badger me about things like, if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. This is a specifically selected situation. Okay, we've got 4 volts. Everybody's going to be unhappy if this works. So I get power, but I don't get a display. But we know that it definitely does work. And unfortunately, I have no idea, the board views, schematics. I've got no data. So I don't know if I've got just a backlight failure or what. I can't really tell from these displays. The way the current is jumping around, that looks like that's a booting phone to me. That really looks like a booting phone type current sequence. Now, as far as I understand, this top section here, ignoring the hair. Hey, Peter Trevena from Melbourne. This top section here is the display. The display output, the data for the display. And the one that we just replaced before, that is for touch response. We know the display already works. We've tested the display. And thermal camera, the only thing thermal camera brings up is that the CPU is getting warm and the NVRAM or the eMMC is getting warm. So the question is, if it's, say, a backlight fault, then, well, where the hell's the backlight? No idea. What part of the circuitry is backlight? I just don't know. So at this point it may well be simpler to move the chip, because otherwise I am genuinely just going to be running around like a headless chook. Oh, do I really want to sound like Big Clive? Is that an appropriate thing? Okay, so we can't use this board because this board's already had donor parts removed. And I realise now why I wanted to keep this board. Because it was one that I knew did work. Shit. Oh well. How would you know it's the circuit with the higher voltage if you didn't know, well, if it's not working to start with? And I just realised I've got to disconnect the battery on this. The battery connector was always such a bad design on this. Yummy steak, it's one of many. I don't know if it's the same phone, I don't imagine it is. Do you get a USB device response? Probably, I'd say I would, but I'm not going to try it. Like I said, the boot pattern seems, the current boot consumption does seem like it's coming to life. But something's wrong with the display output. Not with that attitude, you went, what? Leave my attitude alone, man. It's not attitude, it's experience. Especially when I know I can just go and swap the eMMC chip. Okay. Okay, we're going to plug it into our known good screen, and we're going to make sure that this board does boot before we commit to it. Make sure I get my polarity right. It'd be rather unfortunate to reverse that. Ash in a flash. Yep, that's booting. There we go. So we know that board's fine. So we can use that as a donor host. Well, Barry, I'm not sure. Initially, I think I'm just going to sit down with a great big sigh of relief for a couple of weeks. And then after that, I'll consider my options for partying. Yeah, we do need to take the battery off this. It's not something we really want sticking around while we cook the board, getting that chip off. More a case of I'll get to walk around in any way and state I please. That's going to be the nice thing for it. Get back to that good old don't give a damn walk around. I'm going to take the adhesive off this because it gets annoying. Ugh, man, come on. supposed to just freely peel off, but it never does. Jimbo's got the idea. Maybe I should take it to Twitch though. Or is TikTok where they do that now? I don't know. I'm not keeping up with these new trends. You'll probably see that my subscriber channel numbers would drop severely in that case. Not to mention YouTube would likely ban me. OnlyFans. Oh yes, I've heard about that site actually. OnlyFans, yeah. Steve K, you know, that's actually not a bad idea. I think Greg would tend to agree with doing that. Give them a bit of a shock. Alright, so the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take... You know, actually no. The first donor... We're going to use this donor to see what it's going to be like to take the chip off. Then we'll take it off this one, which is the recipient. And then our third will be that one to put onto there. The reason why I'm doing it that way is it gives me a chance to get some practice in before I commit to the real one. Now I'm wondering whether I should really put this into a holder. Just so it doesn't drift around on me. What's that? Linus is donating 30,000 they got from OnlyFans joke stream. Seriously? Wow. I think I'm just impressed by the fact that they pulled 30,000 out of a joke stream. That's impressive. Okay, let's see, my tweezers. So this is slightly bigger than an SMC. That's fun. I'm not sure how it's going to go hurting the Qualcomm chip. Is that something I should be worried about? I think what I might do is actually flip this out. Like get a corner into here and flip it out. Rather than trying to grab it. Sometimes with these larger chips, you find you can't get a good grab on them. Nelson, it's just really the one phone. I just happen to have a whole bunch of them. If I'm lucky, I might have a stencil for this from one of the fixing things for you stencils that I've got for MacBooks. Or I might have one for an iPhone, I'm not sure. I really don't know what I'm going to be encountering here. And I don't even know how long this is going to take to come up. Yeah, it's taking a bit longer than I like. Maybe I should be more heat. Because I feel like now I'm starting to get to the baking phase rather than the... Yeah, that's taking too long. Let's see, go for 80. Or 10. Well, remember there is a massive copper plane on the back of these boards, so I guess that's not helping. Alright, well I found that I can knock all the parts off. Crap. What the hell? What kind of a flippin'... What kind of memory is this? I haven't seen a memory chip like that before. Okay, I don't think I'll be cheating my way out of this one. Yeah, I don't think I got a stencil for that sucker. I was expecting, you know, maybe these two sections, but I don't know about... And I've ripped a pad out there too, by the way. That's standard eMMC, seriously? Bloody hell. Alright. Shows how much I do with phones, eh? It's called a 221, alright, so there's 221 pads, I dare say. Where the hell am I supposed to find a stencil for that? That's kind of sad, sad little joke. Who invents these stencils, really? Not you. Not you. Not you. I don't think any of these are going to fit because these are standard MacBook ones. You've been seriously abused. I do have generic stencils around here, but it's not going to help us much. Build a stencil. Well, if I had a laser cutter for metal, I would. No, but that's 221 balls. I'm not doing that many. I might be able to do a moderate amount of them using this. I think these are all duplicates. Yeah, they're all duplicates of each other. Hey, anonymous repair. Uh, come to think of it, I'm not sure anything in this selection is going to be fine enough. Let's have a look. Hey, Andrew Hughes. I suppose I should wash this down first. Now, if I was a real sort of ruffian, hacky type, what I'd do is I'd just run solder over all those balls and then do the same on the circuit board and then stick them together and call it a day. What size would you be using on this point? That's the other thing, there's two different sizes of balls almost. Kind of looks like 0.2 and 0.25 or something. I'm sure it's not, but it just visually looks a bit like that. Now, of course, remember, this is not actually even the chip that we're interested in. It just happens to be one we're experimenting with. So we experiment first, and then we... Holy sweet mother of God. Check that out. That's a perfect match on the first go. Man, I need to buy a lottery ticket. .221 stencil can suck it. I got a generic. The worst thing is though that it's round holes, and they are terrible for doing paste-based reball. Alright. So I do wonder if I have any solder balls that might fit into that. I have my doubts, but I am willing to try. .6? Yeah, I don't think so. 0.6 is massive. I'm slightly concerned. I should have a little vial. Oh, there it is. See, it's got to curse at the universe a little bit. I can't get over that. Getting the right stencil first shot. That's... Like I said, that is genuinely disturbing. I feel like I'm going to have to pay for that somewhere down the line. Now here I am just simply seeing if one of these balls will even fit. And if it doesn't, then we'll just have to go paste. Looks a bit tight for my liking. My concern is that when you reflow it, it will basically bond itself through mechanical locking onto the board. Where is my knife? Yeah, we'll just do it this way. There we go. Yes, you can, Pantelis, you can... Okay, they do fit. I'm just seeing if I can lift this. They do fit, just. Personally, I probably would have preferred to have seen a 0.2. I do have fears that they will broaden and lock, so I think we're going to have to go paste on this one. Not the greatest fan of using paste. We could always do it individually, I guess. No, I'm kidding. The upside with this stencil is that chances are it shouldn't deform too much because it's mostly just air. G'day Q's. 2 balls of stencil alignment. I would if I was not worried about them locking the stencil. Give it a run without balls. Don't mind me, I'm just thinking. I know, it seems a little unusual, but occasionally I do sit down and think. I'm not too worried about the actual positioning of the stencil and holding it there. That's something usually I'm not too bad at. Which means now this is where Murphy's going to want to pay back after giving me the perfect stencil. And I might actually not use this spudger. I'm going to go... Let's see. Where am I? Oh, there they are. I'm going to use my razor blades. This straight edge is more guaranteed. Yeah, well, Pilnov's a special person, okay? Can we all just agree that Pilnov is a special person, and there's no point trying to replicate what Pilnov does, because Pilnov is Pilnov, and Pilnov does things differently in ways that we all just sit here and go, wow. And he just goes, this is my daily style of doing things, and you go, okay, that's pretty brilliant, but we're not going to try and replicate that. Alright, this is a CF already, and if you're not sure what CF means, well, I don't really want to have to explain it. Not used to... This is really more paste for when you're doing assemblies. So you get your stencil for your circuit board, your entire circuit board, and you squeegee this solder paste over it. .25 is the size. Oh, okay. Alright. Alright. You kind of got me tempted there. Maybe I should try that. Alright, let's try 0.25 then. Fine. You people are unrelenting. Just washing the stencil. Oh, it even says 0.25. Duh. Okay. Alright. We'll just do this essentially the way of the SMC then. Fortunately, I do have a good number of 0.25s. We'll take one itty bitty 0.25. Let's see. I'm gonna go with 15 air and 340 should be fine. I'm not sure how these chips behave thermally compared to, say, an SMC. Hey Teresa, you're up late. What's the matter, can't sleep? Oh, it is past midnight too. Okay, that's on. Afternoon emergency. Ah, no. Sorry to hear about that. Blimmin' kidlets. Always ruining life. I think it's going to be about 200 balls there. Just realised one frustrating thing is that you're not just catering for 200 balls, you're catering for all the ones that also the gaps between. I think the hard thing here is going to be visually checking. There's a couple up the top here I haven't got and a couple down the bottom. Oh shoot. That's a few too many, unfortunately. Right, we'll see how this goes. If there's any gaps, we'll just work on it then. What I could have done is tape off some of the sections that I knew were not going to be not going to have the balls needed. Okay, right, there's definitely that one there. Let's see if we can just punch one out. Wow, you're very interesting behavior. Okay. Yummy steak, what are you saying? What are you trying to claim? This is a no claim workshop here. Okay, now the hard thing I'm going to find here is how does the flux behave in this situation for me? I have a feeling I'm going to have some missed ones, but what can I do? Holy shit. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. How is the flux going to behave? With the SMC one, there's a gap between the stencil and the balls, whereas with this one, there's no gap. So I'm going to have to actually heat it very slowly, because otherwise they're all just going to do exactly what they did then. Probably good reason to use extremely thin flux, but we don't have that. Yeah. Remember, this is all experimenting at this point. And maybe you have already done it plenty of times, and that's fantastic, but I haven't, so this is all for me. I'm going to go for a lower temperature, so 320, and lower air, 10. Let's try again. I guess we sort of really need to have a bake out scenario. And we also need some lung saver. I don't see this really working. The 0.25s are just too tight. Yeah, see, no matter how slow I go, they're going to constantly pop because there's nothing to hold them back. I mean, look at them go. They won't touch the... Son of a gun. They're not even touching the bottom. Now, if I had 0.2 balls, I think this would work, but 0.25, it's just not going to. Glass over the top probably isn't going to help because, like I said, I'm fairly sure this is not going to be a stencil that I can remove. See, it won't... For the ones that have bonded, it won't let go. I basically am going to end up ripping the pads off. So yeah, if I had 0.2 balls, that would probably work, but I don't. They're just too big. Well, the stencil is marked for 0.25, but it doesn't mean anything. as you can see, 0.25 there. But maybe what they're saying is that the holes are 0.25. A bit like on the SMC stencils, they say the holes are 0.4, is it? Or whatever. Anyway. The point is, it didn't work. Oh, the point is, don't run the soldering iron tip to your thumb, because it burns. Hold the stencil up while heating the board. I could do that. That's a pretty precarious move though. It's a very ballsy move. I'm not sure I'm quite up to that. I understand what you're saying. Basically what you're doing there is you just make the molten phase of the lead paste slip through. Yeah. Maybe I can find something that's got the same pitch and very similar, but just slightly larger. There was a match, but hey, yep. Oh, okay. Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just getting up to settle down now.
Yeah.
To rest.
Yeah, it is past midnight. Yeah. All right then. So it matches the smaller hole pitch, but I'm not sure we're going to get anything useful out of that. I could try paste that. It won't create very large spheres, but it might work. Jimbo, what's going on in the Zimbabwe National Park? Elephant hunt. Oh no. Hey, fixing things. How's it going? This is way too runny. Which makes it more entertaining for everybody. No, this isn't even. No, this is just. This is a hilarious. No. I need to leave this paste out for about 6 weeks. Haha. Well, that's some pretty god awful squeegeeing there. Yep. The big problem is I'm just going to have to probably create some dry paste right now because the existing pot that I have is simply destroyed at the moment. So I'm going to have to create some dryish paste. So bear with me. Because as you can see, that's just infinitely too wet. Was that heat the pass? What? Heat the pass first? What the hell? I don't know what you mean. Heat the part first. Oh, heat the paste first. Yeah, that's what I was saying I was about to do. Don't you people ever listen to me when I say stuff in the future? Hello, who cares? You do still have to be careful when heating the paste because you don't want the individual balls to weld themselves together too much, otherwise you get that like granular see how that goes. Yeah, it's better. It's still a little bit runny. And it is a bit granular. Yeah, definitely still a bit runny actually. I'll try that a bit more. Hey Jürgen. The other thing is, as it cools off, it tends to get a bit, dries out a bit more. I think we're going to go back to that original stencil, the 0.25 one. Too hot. No, just lost all my paste, that's all. And if you're kind of freaking out about the fact that the stencil is sliding all over the place, it's not really a big problem because all you're doing is you're really filling up the columns of the stencil in preparation for when you actually do the reflow. As long as you don't get paste between the bottom, yeah, which I'm probably doing now. I'm just going to reflow this and demonstrate. Yeah, I probably should have put paper towel on it. Hey Sabatino. big problem here is I'm not sure where I can actually hold this sucker. Pirnov would be saying that he would have finished the reball by now, and he probably would have been. That's probably truthful. Alright, now you're all freaking out going, oh my god, it's alright. But there's only a few balls that we have to move around here. We'll just collect a few of these ones that are already pre-made, put them down in the right place, and we should be good. Sabatino, it's context dependent. It really is context dependent. Like, I will use paste mostly for small iPhone type jobs, but I'll use balls for larger stuff. Usually around about 0.35, 0.3 millimeter size is where I'll switch over to using balls. I'm just going to rinse this off. I've got enough spare, pretty sure I've got enough spare ones in the stencil still. Yeah, I've got enough spares there. But we'll rinse these ones off. Hopefully. Come on. Off you get, chaps. The flux has kind of gone hard on them. Might just warm it up a little bit. Not a lot, just a little. I admit this is more drama getting the balls off than I expected. And YouTube algorithm is really demonetizing the hell out of me now. Now I'm going to collect all these and then I'm going to put them in a little container and I'm going to sell them on eBay. Whenever I do an SMC job, 90% of the time when I finish and I review the stream, YouTube has marked it as demonetized. And it's like, seriously guys, I did an SMC and you're demonetizing me, all because I talked about some of the technical aspects of what you need to do to fix an SMC situation. I feel like YouTube has been a bit techist towards me. Alright, get the toothbrush out, Paul. Toothbrush will do this. Come on. Okay, so we've got 2 in there and we've got about 6, 7 over here. That's not too bad. No, it's not ready to go. This is actually a test one. I'm not doing it with the real one yet. I ain't that foolish. This is all just practice. Okay. No idea where that second one came from, but it really annoyed me then. So, no one invited you to the party, bro. Oh, the second one was... Now I know what the second one was. Wow, that one's kind of boasting there. They're a bit inconsistent, to be honest. The question is whether they're within tolerance or not. I mean, there's technical tolerance and then there's real world tolerance. Very satisfying when they pop in like that. So you can see the problem is that you got some that are that big and you got some that are this big. You know, it's all over the place. And this is why I generally like instead to use pre-made balls, because you're guaranteed the consistency. And as I said, Pelnov by now would have just done it all by hand. That. And I've just botched it up. Yeah, miles exactly, yep. Yeah, Steve, I made mention of doing that before. Okay, so that one there is now fused into those two, which means I have to undo them. Hey, Gadgets Clink. Yeah, I'm sitting here just trying to do some skill level ups. And I'm getting my butt trolled here a bit. Okay, I need to switch over to the micro pencil. But, you know, that's what practice is all about. It's just what it's not something you normally do is show everybody that you're practicing. Normally you hide your practicing. And then you come out when you're all an expert and you go onto Facebook MacBook repair channel and you say, I'm an expert at this. Send me your jobs and I will do them. Yeah. Sure we will. So many experts. And that is why we use a micro pencil. We can just absorb those teeny tiny little ones. I think I might actually take it off the paper stencil now. So punch a couple of these through. I gotta admit, I do get paranoid about them bouncing back into the air just as I'm breathing. Yeah, fixing things. I see their comments so often. I'm like, yep, you guys are real experts. And they've always got some life-changing technique, like double multimeters or something like that. I gotta admit, yeah, when I'm reading through a lot of those groups, I do have inadequacy issues. I'm like, I really am not up to speed with what these guys are doing. Oh, for goodness sake, pick a side, Bull. Pick a side. Pikachu. That's just funny. It's like a dog between two bowls. Alright, it does not want to go to that pad. That one it does, but for some reason it doesn't want to go into that. And there's no reason for it to not go to that one. It's not like it's a oxidized, corroded, or anything like that. Now we do the hardest type of insertion of all, and that is right in the middle. Because this puppy's going to want to... It's going to do its very best to go everywhere it's not supposed to. And I need to raise that up onto a little platform, because my microscope is about 2 millimeters too high. There we go. Yeah, fixing thing I really should, to be honest. I really should. Okay, there's some serious left and rightisms going on here with ball sizes. You've got to be kidding me, come on. Like that one there, I mean, come on, that's diminutive. Just add some flux and maybe get this thing to behave. Well, that almost grabbed onto that one up there, but it changed its mind at the last second. Gadget Clinks, you know, I could actually do that. I could overlay the stencil again. But often what can happen is that you find that they don't sit comfortably. Okay, so we've got a mini one there, and a mini one there. That you find you can't really get the stencil reliably back on. It is reality TV. I was just noticing there was a few that were starting to get dragged out of shape, and I just wanted to bring them all back to spherical. And like I said, this isn't even the one that we're trying to recover. This is our test. This is a tribute. Vixen Things, I'm glad that you said that, because I certainly would have been struck down by the algorithm. Very nice. And we've got that one there's a little low, but not too bad. But this one here definitely needs a replacement installed. I guess, Miles, some of us have patience. So it depends on your mood and what you feel like you're trying to do. I wouldn't like to be under time pressure for this one. Damn it, I just popped that out and it ran through to the other side. Ah, there it is. Damn it. And then there were two. Crud. And 3 and 4. Seriously folks, again, this is practice. It's sad that I even have to say that. Oh my, you are a big one. It's sad that I have to say that because I know after this video is finished there's going to be comments in the text, in the chat thingamajig, pertaining to why did you do it that way? Why? It seems so silly and waste of time. You really should do it this way. You're not very professional. I would never send my clients to you. It's like, well, bravo to you. Maladen, well, I am in the house that I will be in. It's a case of I have to displace the existing participants from the house, and they will be going next Thursday. So a mere 7 days away. Steve K, not at this time of the night. It is past midnight, so coffee is definitely not on the list of acceptable beverages. Under normal circumstances, of course, you know it would be. Well, Miles, if I could get if I could get a stencil that properly held 0.25s, or I got 0.2 balls, then it wouldn't be a problem. Because we tried 0.25 in the 0.25 stencil, and it just was a lockdown situation. Look at that one there, needs a little friend. It just needs a booster. But admittingly, I am going to take out the whole thing and start again. Now I guess the question is, now that I think that we've got it all, do we test it by putting it back onto the board and seeing if it boots? Now you see, what I'm showing everybody here is that even I've got to practice things a lot. Well, I think we should actually put it back onto the board because, well, you know, how else are we going to test it? Oh, the downside is that That's right, I wiped out half the participants on the board. Whoops. Yeah, that was a bit of my bad. Let's see. So what have we got? Cap, res, cap. Cap, res. Okay, so that cap that's imbued, embedded in there belongs over onto the right hand side, so that's fine. Sorry, fixing things, what do you mean match up from other boards? Sorry if I seem a little dumb when I ask that. Match up from other board. Are you saying take one off another board and migrate across, or? Sorry if I seem a bit doof. Oh wow, I really need some more heat here. Oh, I already did it right, okay, I see. The joy of the lag of the YouTube. Don't you dare tombstone on me, you bugger. Right, I have to turn this around because I'm left-handed. It is actually quite difficult for me to do it in that direction. What do you think about solid PC CPU with knock caps? Is it good to buy them? Probably disinclined to buy them because of the fact that if the caps have been knocked off, you do wonder what sort of physical damage the CPU internally has received. Yeah, maybe it won't be anything, but I would sooner say it's probably going to be something. And most of the time, if not too many of those caps are knocked off, the CPU should actually still work. Maybe not perfectly, but it should still at least have some functionality. What's this about the audio? Oh, iPhone 7 audio IC underfield. Yeah, that can just go to hell. Thank you very much. Likewise, TriStars. A little bit thick in the middle there. Hey Walter. You're quite late, to be honest. Exceedingly late, in fact. Right, thank goodness these things have alignment guides. I think that's going to be close enough. Says he who then goes and taps it. Yeah, the madness is settling in. Yeah, I think that's going to be just fine. Alright, here we go. We will now do the reballing. Not the reballing, the reflow. they go down already? I felt like it just went down. Yep, that was fast. That went down real fast. And I've got some dregs over here for some reason. Unfortunately, due to the time, it's already 1 o'clock in the morning. Ooh, I melted the plastic. Oh well. The actual one that we're trying to do, they'll have to wait till tomorrow. I just did this on the donut. I just did this on the donut. I just did this on the donut. Why did I do that on the donut? Ah, shoot. Oh well. Jim Allen, actually, Australia did cease utilising ZTE, but these are old boards, so... Okay, this is the data one. I better mark that down. This should still work even though I don't have the connector and stuff there, because I'm pretty sure this is just the touch connector side and everything comes through the display side. Like, we just want to be able to see that it fires up the display. I don't even need the SD card thingamajig in there. Yeah, it was practice. I guess what I should have really... Well, it is how I said it was going to be. The donor board, which we knew we'd already taken parts from, was going to be the very first pool practice. And then this one here was going to be the second pool practice. But we kind of got a bit carried away. And we went straight for the reball and replacement. So it's all good. It's all good. We just did it differently to what we originally planned. See if anything goes bang. Well, nothing went bang, so no earth-shattering kaboom. Nothing coming up. Maybe that connector is required. I really thought that that was just the touch control. Maybe it does have some backlight control as well. Yeah, that's true about the differential data pairs. Alright, well, since we know we're going to do the migration, I'll take the parts and put them back. Oh god, I'm a madman. Shouldn't have messed with them in the first place. This is the simplest route for me to take at this point. Yeah, Greg, I think I have already. Well, yeah. This is the board itself. This is the one that we're getting the data chip from ultimately. And I tried to replace these parts because I thought maybe they were at fault, but it wasn't the case, it seems. It's a lot quicker because we already did that with leaded paste, leaded solder before. Need some more flux. Ran out a few seconds before. I really didn't need it to run out. I have to take the solder away from those corner pads because sometimes I've found that if there's too much there, it actually prevents the connector sitting down. Alright. There's been a little bit of solder wicking going on, a couple of those inner legs, but hopefully not too bad. Hopefully it won't stop the contact. Yesterday, let's see, you needed one. You got 26, 34, 37s and what chip was it that you're after on those? There's not too many chips between the two that are different, like that one has, the other doesn't. Other than things like SMC, of course. Do I have any flux? I've got one or two tubes left. They're from my previous one, so unless you, yeah, they may be and you have 6 months left in. So if you're fine with 6 months shelf life, then yeah, I might have one still. I'll have to check my boxes. Things are a little bit topsy-turvy here at the moment, of course. No, we are not. What's going on here? Battery connector in. It didn't even start drawing power. That's what I'm saying to me then. Nope, still nothing. Alright, so we haven't got the art of the transfer down. Now I don't know whether we cooked the chip, the CPU, or we did something else. Maybe I've got a part in the wrong place. The behavior is the same. Yeah, it's jumping all over the place. Yeah, nothing. Give it a full nudge. Yeah, the CPU's right next to it. So I'll probably cook the CPU or something. Though I was keeping it fairly low in the temperature, but you never know. I had issues plugging in a BMS circuit board connected to a DC power supply. Well, I can try. We've had it power up with the DC power supply before, though. So I know that technique works. I'm wondering if I actually displaced some other part. So we'll have a comparison again between the two and see if I've put something in the wrong place. But this is the one that worked on, because remember, I had a spasm and could well have knocked some things, I think. Not to mention melting things there. 3 caps, 4 gaps, 3 caps, 4 gaps, resistor and 2 caps, yep. Yeah, that all looks good there. Did I put it in the right way? I did, yeah, bugger. For a second then I thought maybe I'll put the chip on backwards. They go into DFU mode. Hey, 555. There are data lines on the battery, but I am actually using the battery of this. So like, I'm powering in through the power supply, and then the data lines are handled by that little chip there, probably. So I don't know, let's see, is my alignment out of place? Let's see, on the left edge here, it's just by the circuit board. Yep, that's a match. Top right there. Yeah, that's a match. I wonder if maybe our balls aren't all sitting down properly. Because, yeah, there were a few unevens, so maybe we should heat it up again, give it a tap and try again. When you white, were there any other ICs missing? Nope. Daniel, yes, I have heard that too. But I guess it depends on sort of like by how much heating, because obviously they go through a reflow process. But yes, I have heard that the heating does tend to degrade the quality of the memory cells holding the data. Can sort of forcibly anneal them. And then of course there's all the drama of me actually just trying to even get the damn thing reballed, so that could be at fault too. Firefan, yeah, these are the classic sort of Telstra ones. So I've got a bunch of them. I don't plan to actually make them work for anything, it's just a case of getting the data off one of them. That was the turbo cooler in action. Superior to the Rossmann Speedy Cool system. That's right, the rapid cool, that's right. Yes, the inferior rapid cool system. Just going to plug this into a charger and see if it picks up charge. It should do. There, 0.5, half an amp. And it's showing a red flash. They unsolder NANDs using low melt soldering iron. That doesn't help when you've got an underfilled chip. You can't do squat about that if the chip's underfilled. Well, Turbo Cool used to be covered, but Turbo Cool ate its covering. Turbo Cool wanted to be free. Free of inhibitions. Yeah, the battery management system seems fine. And it is on the other one anyway. I think we're just going to have to leave this for tonight. We practiced just doing the reball process, but I may have cooked it during that whole extended reballing. Yeah, because it's drawing current, but normally what it'll do is it'll spin this little buzzer there. It's not doing a damn thing. No. So we've kind of cooked it. So I think I'm going to have to keep practicing until I can do a reball, put it back down, and it works still before I even attempt this other one. Either that, or in fact, I might just send this to someone else and they can do it. Actually, it's this one here. Check for shorts. Nah, shorts on what? There really shouldn't be anything wrong with this, because all we did is we took the chip off, reballed the chip, and we put the chip back on. And we kind of somehow botched it. Like an expert. Yeah. Yeah, the board's marked, see? And that one's also marked. Yeah. Well, I've only got 6 or 7 other phones. Let's have another look under there, just in case. I doubt we'll see anything. What I am thinking is maybe I nudged the CPU, because when I was trying to lever it out, maybe I pushed the CPU down slightly, but somehow I doubt it. I think I just botched up the chip. There's not much else really to go wrong on these. Unless the up-down buttons are causing problems. Yeah, maybe if these are internally being depressed, maybe they're causing... Yeah, we'll just disconnect this, just in case it's sort of like doing a button hold down thing. Actually, we use that. Murphy is Murphy. Right, yeah, pull it off nicely. Uh-huh. I'll remember that next time. Well, maybe next time I'll just simply bump solder it and then drop it down. That might technically be naughty, but if it works, it works. Let's see, are these connections all good? A lot of wayward balls floating around there. Actually, there's an amazing amount of solder balls in there. That's not from me. That's so it's probably a carryover. But everything there looks connected. Just looks messy as hell. Actually, I'm gonna rinse the hell out of that. That's really... I don't know where all those balls have come from. I think it's from bad paste process when they manufactured this. Give that a good scrubbing. Ultrasonic the hell out of it. Very hard to do these things in with 2 hands. Oops. Fortunately, that plastic that is melted is just the volume up, volume down. And now it is disconnected. Oh yeah, we got it. I felt it. Well, the buzzer just went, so we've made some progress. Display is still no good, but we made progress, so maybe the actual problem is that connector. Yeah, connected. It's buzzing now. Interesting. So I'm really starting to wonder whether this connector is just a dodgy one. I wonder if I can get a replacement from an iPhone somewhere. The filters are fine by the looks of it, but I'd be focusing more on the connector itself, given that we saw all those solder balls in there. Because you can see how the bottom of them is sort of reflowed together. Surely I've got something in an iPhone. And that, damn it. Those filters aren't properly done either. Damn. What a colossally bad job, Paul. Colossally bad. Shame on me. Shame on me for even doing this on YouTube. And lung saver. Could have sworn I pushed those filters down. Yeah, let's just bridge everything. Sorry, did you check the screen side of the plug? I haven't yet, but I do know that the screen does work, but I guess what you're saying is maybe the screen side of the plug has accumulated some crap. It looks pretty good. There are some small balls in there, but I don't think they're problematic. Just give it a quick scrub anyway. It's a bit like watching Rossman work on his electric bikes. When he spends 4 hours trying to upgrade the internal sensors or something. I shouldn't laugh, it's just that it amuses me. Although, more amuses me the number of people who pretty much have a near aneurysm during the course of his videos. Honestly, the way they go on, it's like someone put tomato sauce on scrambled eggs or something. Walter, I actually haven't used the Medusa, to be honest. I'm sorry to say, I just haven't really gotten around it. Harold has offered to it for me to use it quite a few times, and I just never really took him up on it. Obviously, I'm just holding this back because I don't know what it's going to show up. Okay, so this is actually, yeah, welcome. And now I can go to bed. Yep. Alrighty. We might practice that one more time tomorrow, and then I'll do it for real. Good to know. Okay, everybody, that's it. Thank you all for hanging out. That was quite a long one. Was it 2.5 hours? Yeah, it's actually more along my normal sort of thing. It was a combination of a few things, yeah. Anyway, I will see you all maybe tomorrow. Until then, you'll take care. I'll catch you later.